Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition Player's Handbook Read-Through, and we're going over the last of the warrior classes in the main book, the Ranger. Now, the Ranger is a kind of to me has always been a stepchild. You know, like, oh, he's a wilderness scout and a fighter rolled in one. Okay, I'd just rather be a fighter and use what non-weapon proficiencies. I can do the same thing. Well, maybe not. Let's go and see for ourselves. All right. So, again, tied with the paladin with the most prerequisite requirements, but not as severe. Is to be a ranger, you must have strength, dexterity of 13, constitution and wisdom of 14. And your prime requisites are strength, dexterity, and wisdom. That means you must have all 3 out of 16 to get your 10% experience point bonus. That's rough. Man, this thing better be hardcore with all of this you must have crap. And only humans, elves, and half-elves can be rangers. Why? Well, elves and half-elves because, nature is nature, and that's what they do. Humans, they can do anything. They're allowed. They can do anything. The ranger is a hunter and woodsman who lives by not only his sword, but also his wits. Robin Hood, Orion, Jack the Giant Killer, and the Huntresses of Diana are examples of rangers from history and legend. The abilities of a ranger make him particularly good at tracking, woodcraft, and spying. Okay. The ranger must have scores. I already tell this, But rangers are always good, but they can be lawful, neutral, or chaotic. Must be good. Yeah, didn't know that, did you? Maybe you forgot. I know I did. Must be good. It is a ranger's heart to do good, but not always by the rules. That's fair. Although a ranger can use any weapon and wear any armor, several of his special abilities are usable only when he is wearing studded leather or lighter. There's not much lighter than studded leather. There's leather.
And hide. Actually, hide. Yeah.
Hide. Heather is, hide is just leather armor that's not as processed. Although he has the basic skills of a warrior, the ranger also has several advantages. He better. When wearing studded leather or lighter armor, the ranger can fight two-handed with no penalty to his attack rolls. We're going to get into attack later, but usually there's several caveats and addendums if you want to fight two-handed. Your offhand has to be a smaller weapon, blah, blah, blah. You're a -2 and -6 or -4 and -8 or some other crap. Super minuses. But apparently, no, as long as he's wearing a light jacket, he can do it with no penalty to his rolls. Obviously, the ranger cannot use a shield when fighting this way because, shield can't.
Oh, well, I got a ranger kit for you.
Oh, damn it. A ranger can still fight with 2 weapons while wearing heavier armor, but he suffers the standard attack roll penalties, which are severe. The ranger is a skilled woodsman. Even if the optional proficiency rules are not used, the ranger has tracking proficiency. So even if you don't use proficiencies, he has a proficiency. Suck it. If the proficiency rules are used in your campaign, the ranger knows tracking without expending any points. Furthermore, the skill improves by +1 for every 3 levels the ranger has earned. While wearing studded leather or lighter armor, the ranger can try to move silently and hide in shadows. His chance to succeed in natural surroundings is given on table 18, modified by the ranger's race and dexterity. When attempting these actions in non-natural surroundings, cities, crypts, whatever, the chance of success is halved. Hiding in shadows and moving silently are not possible in any armor heavier than studded leather. The armor is inflexible and makes too much noise. That's fair. In their roles as protectors of good, rangers tend to focus their efforts against some particular creature, usually one that marauds their homeland. Before advancing to 2nd level, every ranger must select a species enemy. Typical enemies include giants, orcs, lizardmen, trolls, or ghouls. Your DM has final approval on this choice. And I'm going to add in here, your DM is supposed to make that choice clear to you. Because you don't choose it before you start play. You choose it when you advance your 1st level. That means you've played, you know what's in your homeland, and you can make an actual informed decision. So what I don't want DMs to do is to is to not give the ranger an idea of the creature he's going to fight the most until after second level. Hee hee ha ha. No, don't be a dick. All right, come on. Thereafter, whenever the ranger encounters that enemy, he gains a +4 to his attack rolls. The enmity can be concealed only with great difficulty, so the ranger suffers a -4 penalty to all encounter reactions with creatures of the hated type. You are racist, and you enjoy it. Turn into the skin.
Monstrous.
You're monstrous. Fine. Every time you come across an orc, you feel like that dirty little orc bastard needs his head bashed in because breathing the air is making
just defiles it.
Just defiles the air for all good and decent folk around. And you cannot hide that. Whatever the N word is for orcs, that's what you say. Sorry. Furthermore, the ranger will actively seek out this enemy in combat preference to all other foes unless someone else presents a much greater danger. Not greater danger, much greater danger. The orc has to die first. It's an itch. I have to scratch it. The dirty orc must die. Or lizard man or whatever you chose. Okay, more powers. Rangers are adept with both trained and untamed creatures, having a limited degree of animal empathy. If a ranger carefully approaches or tends to any natural animal, he can modify the animal's reactions. A natural animal is one that can be found in the real world, a bear, a snake, a zebra. We're not talking about bugbears and unicorns and crap. We're talking about normal animals. When dealing with domestic or non-hostile animals, a ranger can approach the animal and befriend it automatically. He can easily discern the qualities of these creatures, spotting the best horse in a corral or seeing that the runt of the litter actually has great promise, stuff like that. When dealing with a wild animal or an animal trained to attack, the animal must roll a saving throw versus rods to resist the ranger's overtures. Get it out of your head. He's not a bestiality. This is just friendly overtures. All right? Come on. The ranger imposes a -1 penalty on the die roll for every 3 experience levels he has earned. So the more experienced ranger, the harder it is to make that save. If the creature fails a saving throw, its reaction can be shifted 1 category as the ranger chooses. Of course, the ranger must be at the front of the party and must approach the creature fearlessly. Okay, now 1 shift. I haven't gone over the reaction rolls yet. But there are commonly 4?
I think 6, but I forget.
4 or 6. The first one being hostile for automatic hostility, likely hostility, neutral, kind of okay. Given the benefit of the doubt, and dude, he's my bro. You know, he can shift it 1 way up or down. Okay, that's not a lot. But it's something. And there's an example here. I'll give you the example. A ranger can learn priest spells. Okay, we got magic now. Okay, now we're getting there. But only those the plant or animal spheres. Oh, nuts.
In the old days, used to be called druid spells.
Yeah. When he reaches 8th level, he gains and uses his spells according to the rules given to priests. He does not gain bonus spells for high wisdom, nor is he ever able to use priest scrolls or magical items unless specifically noted otherwise. All right. Rangers can build castles, forts, and strongholds, but do not gain any special followers for doing so. Dude, why'd you even put that in there? Anyone can build castles, forts, and strongholds and get no special followers. Why is that even there? I don't know. That's just, we got to give him something else. It's so hard to be a ranger. Just throw in some dumb stuff. Maybe no one will notice. I noticed. Bastard. At 10th level, a ranger attracts 2d4 followers. These followers might be normal humans, but they are often animals or even stranger denizens of the land. Table 19 can be used to determine these. Your DM may assign specifics. This is your follower roll. D100.
I want a brownie.
You want a brownie? That's got an asterisk on it with it. If the ranger already has a follower of this type, ignore it and roll again. A tree creature, a were-tiger, a satyr. I don't want that. A half-elf ranger, a human ranger, a fighter mage elf, fighter human, lion, tiger, and bear. Oh my. A cleric. You get a lot of cool. Okay, this is cool. I mean, you got to wait till 10th level. But these are followers. These are not hirelings. These are followers. Followers follow. They do what you say.
I want a treant.
Okay.
98, man.
98. I want a werebear. This is the hide. The hide and shadows move silently. Remember, it is half if he's outside the woods, outside of a natural environment. It's half. So it's actually 5% and round down, I guess, 7. This spell level, casting level 1, you get 1 spell level, 1 level, 2, 3, 4, and you max out here. Maximum attainable. Spell level 9, 3 spells, 3 spells, 3 spells, and there you are. So far, man, I'm not certain it's worth it. Your DM can assign particular creatures for the campaign. You know, if you're rolling on that table for followers, you get a creature that doesn't fit in the campaign setting. The DM can substitute for something that does. Fair. These followers arrive over the course of several months. Often they are encountered during the Ranger's adventures. While the followers are automatically loyal and friendly toward the Ranger, their future behavior depends on the Ranger's treatment of them. In all cases, the Ranger does not gain any special method of communicating with his followers. He must either have some way of speaking to them, or they simply mutely accompany him on his journeys. Yeah, that bear has been with me for years. I don't know why. He just seems to follow me around. I don't own him or anything, and I can't tell him anything you don't want to do. So whatever. Okay. You could do that. That's fine. Of course, the Ranger is not obligated to take on followers. If he prefers to remain independent, he can release his followers at any time. He can
be gone, demon.
Yeah, no, he can white fang anybody.
Yeah,
there it is. Like the Paladin, the Ranger has a code of behavior. Okay, hopefully not super like the Paladin. Let's find out. A Ranger must always remain in good alignment. If the Ranger intentionally commits an evil act, he automatically loses his Ranger status. Thereafter, he is considered a fighter of the same level. If he has more experience points than a fighter of his level, he loses the excess experience points. Again, just like the Paladin. That sucks. His Ranger status can never be regained. If a Ranger involuntarily commits an evil act, perhaps in a situation of no choice, he cannot earn any more experience points until he has cleansed himself of that evil.
Bathing in the blood is not cleansing yourself of evil.
Correcting the wrongs he committed, revenging himself upon the person who forced him to commit the act, or releasing those oppressed by evil. The Ranger instinctively knows what things he must do to regain his status. Example, the DM tells him so. Furthermore, Rangers tend to be loners, men constantly on the move. They cannot have henchmen, hirelings, mercenaries, or even servants until they reach 8th level. While they can have any monetary amount of treasure, they cannot have more treasure than they can carry. Excess treasure must be either converted to a portable form or donated to a worthy institution. An NPC group, not a player character. Again, there is no shell company game here. You can't give it to Joe to hold on for you and then tell Joe to buy you stuff. That's not how it works. You have to actually give it up or convert it to like a tapestry you can roll up and put in your backpack. There you go. That'll work too. Got to carry it with you. All right. And that is the Ranger. Now, in my opinion, man, it's kind of cool, but I don't think it's worth all of this. I don't think it's worth all this, plus the alignment restriction, plus the I'm going to lose my Rangerhood if I commit an evil act, even if I'm controlled to do an evil act, I stop gaining experience until I atone or get revenge. I don't know, man. That doesn't sound like something I'm agreeing with.
All right, so here's the deal with the Ranger. I've played Rangers a lot. Actually, I'm pretty confident second to Necromancers. The Ranger is beholden to a couple of things. First of all, a good dungeon master. Secondly, everything that he can do. So the ability requirements I actually like because they all give bonuses. All those +1s are beneficial for you if you utilize them. Reaction adjustment. Actually, I guess well, for dexterity you have the missile attack adjustment, and so forth.
Yeah.
By itself, meh. But by having those attributes, you already have some bonuses. The pet, the followers, the two weapon fighting. Two weapon fighting is actually pretty good.
You're right. That one was no joke. That one was no joke.
Remember, a ranger cannot specialize. So his attack rolls may not be on par with the fighter, but until the fighter gets 2 attacks every 3 rounds at 6th level, I think it is.
The ranger has got him in DPS.
Right. So the ranger has a lot of little things that add up. No one thing that makes him great, and that's usually the problem because most campaigns revolve around either just the tracking ability or just the fighting ability or something the ranger can't even do at that point. So he's kind of left out. Occasionally, that's fine. Every character deserves to shine, but the ranger is more of a jack of all trades than people give it credit for. And that's what I've learned, that it takes a decent dungeon master to ensure that all these things have their use at some point or another, and the ranger player to understand that he is not a one-trick pony.
No.
Yeah, the fighter is going to have better armor class because of the the thief is going to have more things that it can do, but look what you can do as well. All these things add up together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But me personally, I don't think it's worth it. Me personally, but I understand how some people would think it is.
Most people think that they suck, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit when I do the
Rangers. I'm not going to say they suck. I'm just going to say I'm not the cost benefit ratio is not there for me.
No, many people believe that, and I think that if you go with strict numbers, you're probably right. It can be a struggle to play a ranger. All right, only a couple comments on here. Kevin Sullivan, going all the way back. Kevin Sullivan for $10 says, "How close are we?" Well, let me find out. We are at we're exactly at $100. Because that's right, Polyrobotics pops them in there. So we have just squeaked into the end line there, where we can do a giveaway at the end of this
finish line. Woo!
Can Fentari be a paladin squire?
Oh, I forgot. I forgot to put that one up there. I'm sorry, CPK. That was my fault.
No. Well, it's $10, so that's at the end. Anyway, can a Fentari? No, because Fentari don't follow any rules or laws. Eridani, on the other hand, yes. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go look at Battle Lords of the 23rd Century, anything up through 6th edition. Don't look at 7th edition. It's bad. And then, can he now become paladin? Okay, we did that one. And then I guess you started this one. The party
this is another paladin one. Yeah, I started, but I forgot to. This is for paladins. Sorry.
Okay. See, Ranger Explorer rocks for the worldwide exploring.
Oh yeah. For if your dungeon master is doing it right and not hand waving overland travel, then the ranger is going to shine a lot.
And there's one in particular that is really awesome.
We're going to get to that when you get into the Ranger's Handbook, right?
Yep. And then Beat Magnet said, I had to roll like 10 times in study hall at school before I could meet the prerequisite for a ranger. That means you're rolling properly. Those other 9 people are farmers and merchants and blacksmiths and whatever else, but they're not adventurers.
Fighters or wizards or whatever, because they're not overall better than most people. A ranger and a paladin are overall better than most people. And that's just the way it is.
And then I'll put this last one on the screen here because I think it's an interesting comment. Rangers sound too close to paladins as they always have to be good. That does not sound like a good hunter who, say, like Vampire AD, has to cross the line a lot.
Okay. Now, the reason why I think that they made the ranger always have to be a flavor of good is because the idea of good and evil is that evil is unnatural and good is natural, and rangers are of nature, so they must be good. I think that was kind of what they were going for. I don't know.
But also look at the archetypes of like Aragorn is definitely one. What was it? Oh my God. Robin Hood was another one.
Yeah. The example, Robin Hood and Jack the Giant Killer, stuff like that. So they were all good people. So it's based on good people who were at one with nature and had a certain set of skills, like Liam Neeson.
Right. So I mean, I don't have a problem with them being good. Also, they don't have nearly the issues that the paladin has. Remember, chaotic good means you can be a libertarian.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to have, you just have to not screw people over on purpose, and
Yeah,
you're fine.
right.
That's about it.
And your buddy over on Rumble says a far superior game would be one where you roll 3d6 as they fall and must endeavor to level up, then qualify for classes that are seeking to be. This 46 drop the lowest is easy mode garbage. I think that if you are trying to present paladins and rangers as rare as they're supposed to be, then I 100% agree with that. If you are a more placating game master, dungeon master, and say, you know what, you want to be a paladin, you can be a paladin. You want to be a ranger, you can be a ranger. Then that's when those other die roll systems are in there. I
Well,
agree
no,
with
hang
both.
on. Yes, I understand, but I also know that if someone wants to play a ranger, someone wants to play a paladin, or even someone wants to play a wizard, and they roll and they don't make all the requirements, but this is what they want to play. I would, I would, I would give all of the requirements. I would raise them to the minimum. I would,
Okay,
to
it's fair.
let them play what they wanted to play. I would do that. Now, would I do it all the time? No. Once in a while, like I played a thief, I've played a cleric. Now I want to play a ranger because of that NPC in our last campaign, but I've been rolling here for like 30 minutes and I can't roll it. Okay, I'll help you out. And in the handbook for paladin, maybe it's in the ranger as well. They had a roll off, whereas like you roll a d12 and
It's
you
in the
get
rangers
these.
as well.
Okay, yeah, you roll a d12, you get these 6 stats, and it's guaranteed that you're going to be a paladin or a ranger, but you're also going to get a single digit number here or there. You're going to, stuff like that. It's not going to be all roses.
One of the things that I think he was talking about, because he had another comment after that, is it's just kind of growing into like you can't be it at first level, but maybe by the time you hit 5th level, you can grow into it. The issue with that is this: it's game
Doesn't
set.
follow.
We are specifically talking about AD&D Second Edition. I think there are a lot of great games out there where you can do stuff like that, whether it's skill-based games or games where you improve your ability scores over time, and you can do things like that. That's not core AD&D. I'm not saying
Yeah,
you can't add that to your game, but that's not core
yeah.
AD&D. And what
That
we are talking about here is
that is more like the D20 prestige class,
sure, yeah.
where you start off as a core class and then you get skills or abilities to qualify for a prestige class. Then you can start doing that. Fine. But again, that mechanic does not fit into this game.
Right, and one of the things that I think that people do, there's always that fight between skill-based versus class-based, right? I think that sometimes skill-based people, um, their characters become cookie cutter because they know what the best skills are to take, within whatever tropes that they want to do. I do believe that they allow more flexibility, but I think they have their own inherent issues as well, including analysis paralysis. But then there's the class-based side, and I think that sometimes people forget you're playing a trope, you're playing a class. You're not supposed to be changing your class. You're not supposed to be growing, so to speak. That's not how the game is developed. That's not how the concept's developed. You're reading a novel, you're watching a movie where your character might grow in personality and so forth, but you are the ranger, you are the superhero, you are the whatever it is, and that's what you are from beginning to end. Superman couldn't fly when he first came out in 1930, whatever. He bound over large buildings. He can fly now, but he's still Superman. But and that's why I think that it's great that there are a bunch of different types of games out there for folks to play. So, but with that said, I guess finalize this for us, Heathen Dog.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching the Ranger. And if you have any comments, concerns, or you want to tell me that I think it is worth it, I'm with you. I think it's not. Please put it in the comments below. And if you want to see the complete Ranger's Handbook, this description, the add-on to this supplement to this, then wait for the next video or stay tuned when Max comes back and gives you just that.